given me the chance to speak in respect of the GST bills. Sir, West Bengal fought hard to preserve and protect cooperative federalism in the process of the formulation of GST. It also fought uncompromisingly on fiscal autonomy of all states of the nation on matters of GST. This was the hallmark of West Bengal that is so visible in many parts of the bills presented to us in the Parliament. As chairman of the Empowered Committee, the West Bengal Finance Minister was instrumental in bringing about a broad consensus among states on single control in the hands of the state below 1.5 crore turnover of small business in its meeting in the great city of Calcutta many months ago. And I believe the Honorable Union Finance Minister, Mr. Jaitley, was a witness to this consensus among states that had not been seen even before. Such was the seminal role played by West Bengal in protecting cooperative federalism and fiscal autonomy of the states at many such occasions in the course of formulation of this GST bill. Our leader and the present Chief Minister of the state of West Bengal, Vanitha Banerjee, had in principle supported the concept of GST as early as 2009 in our party manifesto. The idea was to usher in a strong and cohesive indirect tax regime that creates a single market for all trade and industry and is beneficial for the common man and small traders and enterprises. A draft GST law was circulated in the month of September 2016, which had many clauses that were not in the fullest interest of the states, common man and small traders and enterprises. But through the deliberations of the GST Council, a number of ideas were thrashed out, and I believe West Bengal engaged uncompromisingly in a spirit of cooperative federalism and fiscal autonomy of the states. The states in which West Bengal took the lead ensured that the constitutional amendment on GST incorporates the commitment of the central government to give full compensation to the states on account of any loss due to GST for a period of 5 years. The Compensation Act has also been designed keeping in mind the constitutional mandate of the 122nd Amendment of the Constitution, and this will ensure that no state in the country will suffer any financial loss due to GST. Our state has always stood up for the marginalized and needy, small traders and manufacturers who provide the bulk of the employment in the industrial sector have been given due regard in the new GST law. In this spirit, West Bengal pushed hard for the GST threshold to be raised to rupees 20 lakhs turnover so that small and teeny business are kept out of the purview of the GST. A composition scheme has also been offered for small traders and even manufacturers up to an annual turnover of rupees 50 lakhs. The composition scheme to manufacturers is a new feature that will help protect small and new manufacturers, especially in the MSME sector. West Bengal stood firm on this new feature that will benefit lakhs of small business and make tax compliance much easier. Additionally, in order to ensure least disturbance and to provide a single interface so that the assessee does not have to face more than one authority, the concept of cross-empowerment has been introduced in the law. State government and central government will empower the officers of the other government under the respective acts so that the assessee has to go to only one office and deal with only one authority. Apart from this, in order to ensure that the small traders do not face any problem in working with the new law, 90% of the assessees of both goods and service below a turnover of rupees 1.5 crore have been kept exclusively with the state governments. The purpose of GST was to get rid of multiplicity of taxes and the related cascading effect, and to unify different taxes into a single entity, so as the ill effects of inflation can be curtailed to a large extent. Adding to this removal of multiple tax structure means a reduction in the cost of compliance, the benefit of which should finally pass down to the consumer. The entire structure of GST has been created on the premise that the common man must benefit from the unification of taxes, and therefore it is necessary that the rate structures of different goods and services is adjusted so as to reduce inflation and also the prices of goods of mass consumption, so that the average Indian citizen benefits from this path-breaking enactment. Another important benefit of the new goods and service tax regime is the boost to ease of doing business. A common law and standardized treatment of taxable entities with the special feature of full set of tax liability incurred being transferable throughout of the nation means that business does not have to think in sales and can concrete on a cost-effective and competitive product that can compete in international markets and benefit the common man at the same time. It is expected that such a major reforms in the indirect taxation structure will not only help curb inflation, but will also have a very positive effect on GDP growth. It is hoped that one country, one tax regime will usher in growth in all sectors, boosting both rural and urban economy in this nation. Having said so, even we are concerned in few arenas, which now I want to point out. Number one, while the spirit and form of the GST law is sound, and both the states and the center have played a very important role in ensuring that a sound legislation is in place, there are still some areas of concern as far as the implementation is concerned. Number two, considering the scale of the reform, it is imperative that sufficient time is given to build up the structures required to ensure the proper implementation of the GST law. We should not rush through the preparation, as that is bound to give rise to small but crucial errors which may hamper the implementation of the law itself. We need to look at the experiences of other nations and learn from the mistakes made there, so that we can implement the new law in a proper manner. Number three, another area of concern is the rate structure itself. The process of fitment of rates for different goods and services is yet to be started. Unless the industry is informed about the rates with sufficient time is given, it will not be possible for them to modify their ERPs and systems well in time to meet the deadlines. Therefore, it is necessary that the rate fitment process be completed quickly, so that the industry in general has reasonable time to prepare. Number four, another area is concerned the preparation of the GST network, GSTN. The GSTN is a core system which links all the states and the center with the assessees and is pivotal to the implementation of the goods and service tax system. This is one system that cannot afford to fail, as its failure will lead to a collapse of the entire indirect tax system of the nation. Therefore, it is necessary to get all the models of the GSTN prepared and tested as quickly as possible, so that the assessee and the industries have enough time to train up their personnel and gear up their systems. A completely e-based indirect taxation system means that even the smallest player has to be on board, without which the ITC chain and linkage will be lost. The small business must be given adequate time to adapt themselves to this completely new system. In this given situation, it is a complex fiscal reforms. These reforms, there are complexities there. State and center together in a federal polity must take appropriate quantum of time that which will be sustainable and successful. I will be having a request to the Honorable Finance Minister through you, sir, that we should not rush for this. Hurriedly rush. Look into this again. Why the defects are there. It should be looked into. Please do not rush. Bring it. You are having a time. 1st July is not the ending. 1st September is also there. Up to 1st September you can get the time. Therefore you are having time now. And the arenas which have been discussed, still the lacunas are there. Errors are there. Which may not be, which is difficult for implementation. These arenas should be covered. These arenas should be discussed and necessary amendments should be brought. Overall, the goods and service tax enactments are set to user in an area of a higher compliance, efficient taxation, reduced inflation and better growth. It is important the implementation is also made by both center and states in the true spirit of cooperative federalism, helping build the nation together. That should be the spirit. This is the way things have started. That should continue. The state and center, they should be act together, shoulder to shoulder. No one should ask for only credit. हमने किया है, नहीं, सबने किया है. एक ही बोलना होगा आपको. हमने किया है, इस बात में इसको कुछ नहीं होगा. हम लोग सब मिलके किया है, यही बात आपको बोलना होगा.
भर्तृहरि मेहताब.